Hello, West Michigan. You're watching Alive and Well. I'm Linda Balkema, and today we have a compelling story about living donors. With me is Brianne Dobbins. Brianne, welcome.
Thank you.
And you have quite a story.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Brianne and I met, we were in a class at Grand Valley together, in fact, a grant writing class, and I know that you have aspirations of starting your own nonprofit around being a living donor.
Correct.
Talk a little bit about what a living donor is before we get into your story.
A living donor is someone who chooses to donate an organ while they're still alive. So they can donate to a friend, a family member. There's even non-directed donors that will actually just give to the first person in need.
Non-directed donors. Okay.
And they also call them altruistic donors. So someone they don't know, just someone who has the most need. And they can donate almost anything at this point. Kidney, liver. I've heard of living lung and heart donations.
Yes, I researched a little bit today and lung donations. Yeah. Bone marrow is quite
Bone
common.
marrow, yep.
Okay. I also did some reading and I found out that the first donation was done in 1954 on twin boys. A twin brother donated. That was the first successful living donation. And now there's about 6,000 per year that are done. I think kidney is most common.
Yes.
Yeah. This we have a story here that was in the paper, and we'll have to get these ladies on here sometime. They are some local gals, sisters. Maggie Knox, loves her older sister, Aline Robertson, with all of her heart and now with a kidney. On Friday, Knox and Robertson, both of Muskegon, underwent surgery at the University of Michigan Hospital in Ann Arbor, where Robertson received one of Knox's kidneys. So it goes on to tell, and just what a wonderful story. It was successful and just one of many. But Brianne has her own unique story, and it's really interesting, I think, from the donor's perspective of how everything happens. So first, tell your story to our viewers about your donation.
It started in 2004. My uncle actually donated his kidney to a friend of a friend, and it always kind of stuck in the back of my mind. And then in 2007, I met a young man named Jeremy through my boss, and his kidneys failed later that year that I met him. So December 2007, his kidneys failed, and Tina came to me and told me, and I said, well, I'll get tested. Oh. And I actually called to get the information in April of 2008, and in July, we had the surgery.
Wow, that quick, that's good.
Yeah,
because
7 months.
When a donation like that is needed, I mean, I think the sooner the better.
Yes.
And how old was Jeremy at this time?
Jeremy was 28 at the donation.
And how old were you?
22.
22. 22 years old and giving up a kidney.
Yes.
Yeah. and tell me about the thought process that went in. How did you feel, or what did you think prior to this?
Honestly, it was a very easy decision. It was something my uncle had done and done well with health-wise, and it just seemed like the logical choice. He needed a kidney, I had an extra one, and I was fit for surgery.
Okay, but still, in your 20s, you think of your kidneys as, wow, kidneys filter, and sometimes 20-year-olds like to have a drink or two, and that's probably, did any of those thoughts like, wow, can I still go to a party, or can I, have a glass of wine? Or
I didn't have so many of those thoughts as other people thought them for me, which is probably a good thing.
Right.
I've always been an optimist, so it was always just an easy decision, but my parents were really worried. My dad was very worried. And the drinking thing did come up, actually. You know, I was 22. I just turned 21 the year before. So that was a big question. And being so young, I hadn't had children. I still don't have children. Sure. They were worried about when I grow up and if I want to have kids and children of my own.
That is interesting. Yeah. Now, a kidney doesn't affect your reproductive system whatsoever.
Not really.
No,
It does put me at a higher risk of preeclampsia and high blood pressure during pregnancy, which I really didn't understand at the time, I guess. I work in an OB office now, so preeclampsia is a bigger deal than I thought it was before. But
could you explain to our viewers what preeclampsia means exactly?
Preeclampsia is generally just a increased blood pressure during pregnancy. I don't know the specifics, but it's a increased risk, and when your blood pressure is that high when you're pregnant, it puts you at risk and your baby at risk. And a lot of the signs are retaining water, a lot of swelling, and it's just not a general good situation for the mother or the baby.
Okay. So had you known about that in greater detail, do you think it would have influenced your decision?
Probably not. At that time, I don't think I ever wanted kids. So
those things change, though, with people. And that's probably why your parents were concerned at such a young age, that you really went into this. You feel you're going into it with your eyes wide open, and things change as we mature. And,
right.
And the desire to have or not have children can change as you get older. So, but the good news is, it's still, you want to have, if you do decide to have children, you certainly can.
Yes, definitely.
But you do have to, of course, be more careful. And so do people that have diabetes or a number of other issues, but they do have healthy children.
Correct.
So that part aside, so you decided you want to do this, and you're going forth with it. And you had, in fact, in class, she showed a wonderful PowerPoint presentation that even showed her scar from where the kidney was removed. How did it feel just before you went into that surgery? You still, any last minute jitters or?
It was probably the last week before surgery when I was really trying to get ready that I got nervous. And I wasn't worried about, the risks of surgery. I wasn't worried about death or anything like that. It was what I was going to do after the surgery, and, the pain I would be in, and the problems I would have immediately following surgery, and how Jeremy was going to be doing.
Right.
And then the morning, I don't think I slept the night before surgery. In the morning of surgery, we had to be in Grand Rapids at 5:30 in the morning. My mom took me, and that was pretty nerve-wracking. But we got there, and I went into the pre-op, and Jeremy was actually right in the curtain across from me, which we didn't know was going to happen.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
And his whole family was there, and my mom and my dad. And their minister from his aunt's church was there, and he came in and he prayed with them and he prayed with us, and that was very peaceful, actually.
Yeah, that gave you, I'm sure, it gave you some peace. So then you have the surgery. It's been 4 years. First of all, right after the surgery, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about, I think overall the emotional factors that factor into this are huge, and maybe not so much before when you're certain of doing this and you feel good about what you're going to do, but then there's the after effects.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention to our viewers, we certainly don't condone or promote drinking alcohol, but it does happen, and it is a choice, and particularly with people in their 20s when they're at an age when those things seem to be part of their social life and a little more important to them. That is a concern to think about, but I think your doctor even told you afterwards you're good to go. You can still do those things.
As soon as I was off pain medication, I was free to drink.
Free to drink. Your doctor told you you're free to drink. And of course, nobody should drink to excess, 1 or 2 kidneys. But so you can live a normal functioning life. Okay, well, we'll be back in just a moment, and we're going to talk a lot more about living donors.